Going to shul on Allen Street a number of years ago.
I know, I remember you.
Yeah, you do.
So let's hear about the Rebbe.
Okay. I came to work in the Navy Yard.
Got to speak up.
I can't go too much.
Okay.
I came to work in the Navy Yard, and I was about 22 years of age. And it's all in there. I gave you. When I heard that the rabbi was an electrical engineer also, and a graduate of the Sorbonne College in Paris, I went to speak with him. Not about religious matters, but I wanted to speak with him about math, because that was then and still is the greatest school for teaching advanced mathematics. So I went to talk with him. The man was brilliant. He had two smart eyes, spoke very, very quietly and judiciously. It was a pleasure to speak to him. I spoke to him quite a few times.
In what year was the first time that you saw the Rebbe?
The first time I saw the Rebbe was January 1943.
1943. Where did you see him?
In 1943.
Where?
In the Navy Yard. He worked 20 feet away from me. At a desk, at a drawing table. He was working on the wiring. It's in the article. And I was working on the diesel engines.
The wiring for what?
The battleship Missouri. You see, I only worked there 18 months. I didn't like the place. You couldn't get out of it because they had a war manpower commission, so you couldn't leave for one job to another. But I found a company that had a retired admiral as a partner, and he got me out to his company.
How often did you see the Rebbe?
Every morning as I passed his desk.
Was he wearing a hat, a jacket?
I was wearing a hat, the only one that wore a hat, and a payas and a beard, a black suit, a white shirt with a black tie. The thing that was very interesting to me as a youngster, in those days, most of the draftsmen, he was working in a section was more draftsmen than engineers. Most of the draftsmen were Irish and German, and they were gefährliche Antisemiten. And he sat there. I couldn't sit there as calmly as he did. Didn't bother him. He sat in front of 300 anti-Semites, and he sat as if he's sitting in his own shul. That man had peace of mind, and he had integrity in himself.
Did the other people on your floor where you sat knew that this was the Rebbe, that this was?
They knew he was a rabbi, and his name was Schneerson, but they didn't know about the Chabad and those things. That wasn't there yet, But they knew he was, and they had respect for him. But very few people spoke to him.
And in the Navy Yard, how many times did you speak with him?
Well, it's hard to say. Maybe over a year and a half, or maybe a dozen times.
And about what?
We talked about the engineering and about his studies in Paris. I didn't talk about his religious stuff. I didn't have to talk. I had a grandfather, a rabbi. I didn't need to talk with him those things,
Did you ever come to the Rebbe later after he became the Rebbe?
I went with somebody. I don't know if you knew. He died a few years ago. What was his name again? There was a young Jewish lawyer. I went one Saturday night with him. He said, "Come with me." And the rabbi gave $1 when we talked with him. There was a whole line coming there.
Sunday it was.
Yeah?
Sunday?
I think it was a Saturday night.
No, Sunday.
Then it was Sunday then? It's a long time
And
ago.
who was the lawyer? What was his name?
The name will come back to me. Wait. Fried. He lived in your section someplace, near the East River Drive. Mm-hmm. Then he must have died before you moved in or something. How long did you live in?
So for the younger generation, what was your impression of the Rebbe back then?
A man fully situated within himself. Nicht geblusen für sich, if you know what I mean. You spoke to him very calmly, answered your questions and other things. He didn't pull rank or anything. You know, there's some rebbes that act as if they invented the religion, you know. He didn't.
And just state your name and your age and where you're from, a little bit about yourself.
About myself?
Your name, where you're from, and where do you live, and how old you are, and etc.
I'm 95.
What's your name?
It's in there, Milton Fector.
Say it again.
Milton Fector, Fechter.
What's your Hebrew name?
Moshe Leib,
Actually. And where do you live?
212 East Broadway.
Okay, thank you.